But we are talking about a potential trilogy fight between the OGs, Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora. Dillian Whyte called out Chisora on social media this week. I believe Modfather Vinny, if he's not too exhausted from putting up the poll, has got that tweet handy to put up on screen. Yeah, have you got that, Vinny? And we'll read it out. Dillian Whyte, here we go. Hey, Derek Chisora, stop horsing around and let's do the fight. I'm not interested in talking. I'm just interested in putting to bed again. Hashtag forever donkey. See, because he called him a donkey at the start of their rivalry. And he said, stop horsing around. Because horses are like donkeys. They're similar. Is that, do you get it?
No, explain it again, please.
Yeah, I think I need to go through it. It's like the meme of the guy with the maths, the equation behind him. Yeah, I mean, do we want to see it, I suppose, is the question. Dillian Whyte, Derek Chisora. Dillian Whyte coming back after the suspension, of course, and had that comeback win in Ireland. Didn't look as good as we've ever seen him. But Derek Chisora coming off a good win over Joe Joyce. You don't normally see trilogies when the first two results have gone one man's way. But obviously the first fight between them was a controversial points win for Whyte. The second one, Chisora was winning on points, I think, on 2 cards and then got wiped out or whited out in the, it's just getting worse, in the final round with a massive shot, probably the best shot that Dillian Whyte's ever thrown in his whole career. Yeah, so we don't normally get demand for a third fight when the 2 first ones have gone to the same person. But what do you make of it, Eamon? Do you fancy a bit of it, trilogy?
Yeah. So the first 2 fights were really exciting. They're real good blood, guts, and thunder type affairs. And when you're talking about boxing with your friends, or when you're out or whatever, and you want to get someone who doesn't watch boxing into the sport, you throw on that type of fight. You throw on a Gatti. I'm not putting it in the pantheon of Gatti Ward, but you throw on that type of fight where it's exciting and people are trading. And there's a real opportunity here for someone to get knocked down or get knocked out here. There's a real there's whoa moments. There's commentators going crazy for the punches, the heroic efforts, the bravery of both of them, the chins of both of them, the Herculean effort that they're putting in to get the win and really kind of defeat each other. Those are the type of fights, and with it being a heavyweight too, you add that into the mix, and then the spike between the two of them, that gloves are off moment. It was good. It was good TV. It's good, entertaining TV. This type of stuff that resonates with people and gets people truly interested in the sport. And saying that, if there was a third fight, I'd be there. I'd be watching it. I'd be happy to see it, and I'd be happy to see another affair of that. But you've got to contextualize the third fight in amongst where Chisora stands right now. And before the Joyce fight, I was a little bit worried as to where Chisora was, and I still am as to the way there's a big mistake from Joyce's team to agree for that fight to be 10 rounds as opposed to 12, because Chisora really had to dig in and find his way skirting around the ring to kind of bank the rounds there. But you also have to add there, with that victory, that surprise victory over Joyce, he's maybe earned another shot, another fight, and he's sort of like Canelo, is calling his own shots in his own way, and he wants that 50 fights, and then he'll bow out. And I'm guessing he's looking to maximize as much as he can in terms of the payday with those 2 opponents that he's looking to choose. And that would be someone like unless it's an Anthony Joshua, which I believe, unless it really made business sense, that either wouldn't really fight each other, and I don't think it ever would, position wise in rankings or business wise, as to make that fight there. But with Dillian Whyte, there's history, there's tape you can pull back on, there's tape outside the ring that you can pull back on. It's an easy sell here, and I can see why they're going for it. I can see the fight happening. Whether it happens in the UK is another thing. I do worry with the way the second fight ended as well too, as to where Chisora could, how much damage Chisora could take here. The saving grace to a degree of that is that Whyte has been out the ring for a long time, inactivity sorting his outside of the ring troubles as well too. That level of inactivity might now play into Chisora's hands, and he might see that as an opportunity to get one on the board against Dillian Whyte. But it's a real blood and guts thunder type of affair. I would watch it. I would stick it on. And I can see it happen.
Grim Reaper asks, who's the donkey now? Great bit of nostalgia there. Alexander Dimitrenko says, Porky said he told Dillian he'd have to fight Derek for a third time, and Dillian said he's well past that. He's now calling the donkey out. Derek already said Dillian can't fight in the UK, so not happening. Yeah, it's an interesting one because normally this would be a natural fight for Saudi. But with the British Boxing Board of Control sanctioning and administrating the shows out there, as far as I'm aware, that's still happening. I guess Dillian couldn't fight there as well. Someone let me know if I'm wrong about that. I'm not actually sure. But yeah, I mean, could it happen somewhere else? Could it happen in Ireland, for example, where Dillian had his comeback fight? I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of big arenas and stadiums over there, so perhaps. Beautiful Golden Dragon says, how does Eamon groom his beard? Does he use cream? Asking for a friend. Looks great, though. Eamon, do you want to quickly address that burning question?
I don't groom my beard at all. I'm really terrible at these sort of things. I just about kind of shave it every couple of days or so. I'm really terrible with lining it up. I'm really terrible with like getting off my mustache and things. If I want it done properly, I usually go to a barber, but this is not a good beard by any standards, so I wouldn't take any tips from myself.
Jack Dutton says, I'd like to see Chisora Whyte 3. Personally, that's a decent domestic clash for me, and it could possibly open the doors, possibly even a fight on a Saudi card for the winner. I'm surprised Chisora hasn't been on a Saudi card yet, considering he was quite close with the people over there, we were led to believe at one point. So maybe saving that for his 50th and final one. Toby Bartlett says, if we get the Dillian versus Del Boy trilogy, would Del Boy be the first fighter to have 2 trilogies and lose all 3 against Fury and 2 against White? Del Boy would definitely want to win 1 fight. Yeah, I'd have to kind of rack my brains a little bit. I'm sure in the old days there was fighters that lost 3 times against the same opponent, like twice out, 2 different opponents. But yeah, I'd have to comb through the history books, metaphorical history books.
Who didn't Ijaz Ahmed and Casey Kademi fight 3 times, and did neither of them win?
Yeah, well, that's got to be history making, hasn't it?
I can't remember.
Wasn't the final one? Was the final one a cuts win or something? I can't remember actually. Maybe it was no contest, and the 2 before were draws. Yeah, we'll have to check that out as well. These history books are going to get a lot of work over the next couple of hours. DB Cooper 1 says, more than happy to see Chisora versus Whyte 3. Used to think Chisora should retire, but now I think he should fight till he's 75. Anything to delay his political career. Big Chungus finally joined us. Says, don't sell your beard short, Eamon. It's majestic. The Keggy says, can you talk about Moses Talma versus Joseph Parker being set up in Saudi for December? Yeah, I could probably segue to that because I'm going to talk about Talma in a minute anyway. DB Cooper 1 says, even Turkey doesn't rate Chisora, which says it all, despite him going to every event and begging for a payday. I think that's a bit harsh. He sucks up too much. Turkey saw through him. Dale, if you're watching this, not me saying that, it's this DB Cooper guy.